The hall of the castle was filled with the clatter of wooden platters, the scent of roasted meat, and the low murmur of servants moving swiftly between the long tables. Among them bustled a young maid in a light blue medieval dress, a white apron tied at her waist. She had chestnut-brown hair tied back beneath a simple kerchief, and her eyes always carried a spark of mischief, though her work was simple: sweeping, serving, carrying jugs of ale. She had a restless tongue. Where other maids kept quiet, she loved to chatter, laugh, and sometimes mock those above her station. This day, as the lord of the castle strode through the hall in his dark robes, surveying the work of his household, the young maid's lips twisted into a grin. She mimicked his solemn walk behind his back, lifting her chin and puffing out her chest in exaggerated seriousness. A couple of the servants snorted into their sleeves, unable to help their laughter, but laughter carries, and whispers spread faster than fire. By the time the lord had seated himself at the dais, the steward leaned down and spoke quietly into his ear. The lord's brows furrowed. His gaze swept the hall and settled upon the maid in blue. She froze mid-step, a tray of goblets trembling slightly in her hands. The chatter died instantly. Servants froze in place as the girl, cheeks flushing, set down her tray and stepped forward with hesitant feet. She dipped a shallow curtsy, eyes lowered, though a nervous smirk still played at the corners of her mouth. The lord's voice boomed through the hall. "Lord, I hear that you mock me behind my back, turning your duties into jest. Tell me, girl, is it true?" The maid wrung her hands, her fingers gripping the fabric of her light blue dress. "Maid, hesitant, with false innocence, my lord, I was only jesting. No harm meant, I swear it." "Lord," coldly, "no harm, you say?" A servant who ridicules her master plants seeds of disrespect. "If I am a subject of laughter to those beneath me, then order itself crumbles." The girl's smirk faltered, but she tried to hide it behind her kerchief. "Maid, I beg forgiveness, my lord. It was only in play." The hall was silent. Then the lord rose, his dark robes swaying, his eyes narrowing. "Lord, play has its place, but insolence has its price. Bring her to the dungeon." Gasps rippled through the servants. The maid's eyes widened, her playful spirit crumbling into fear. 2 guards stepped forward, each taking her by an arm. She stumbled, her skirts of pale blue trailing on the floor as she was led away, down the stone steps into the cold, torch-lit depths of the castle. The dungeon was damp and silent, save for the drip of water from the ceiling. Torches cast flickering light across chains, benches, and rough stone pillars. The maid was brought to the center, her breath quick, her eyes darting about nervously. The lord followed, his footsteps echoing. He regarded her with a steady, unyielding gaze. "Lord, insolence is a weed that must be pulled before it grows. Yet today, I will not meet your mockery with the rod or the lash. Your punishment shall be different, one that fits your foolish laughter." The girl blinked, her heart racing. The lord gave a nod, and the guards placed her gently but firmly onto a wooden bench. Her arms were held so she could not pull away. Her light blue dress shifted as she squirmed, her white apron slipping aside. "Lord," grim but almost amused, "since you delight in laughter, let laughter be your correction." Her eyes widened as his hand brushed aside the hem of her dress, revealing the pale skin of her stomach. "Maid," startled my lord. "Please, I did not mean," but the lord ignored her pleas. His fingers pressed lightly against her stomach and sides. At once she burst into wild laughter, jerking against the guard's hold. "Maid," laughing uncontrollably, "Ah. And no, please. I can't. Stop, I beg you." His fingers danced mercilessly across her stomach, tracing circles along her sides, brushing beneath her ribs. Her laughter echoed against the dungeon walls, high-pitched and breathless. The girl kicked and twisted, her blue skirts flying about, her kerchief loosening as her chestnut hair spilled free. Tears sprang to her eyes, not of sorrow but from the sheer helplessness of her laughter. "Lord," sternly, as he tickled, "is this the laughter you thought fit for your lord? Do you mock still?" Maid, gasping through laughter, "And no, I swear, I'll never." Never again, but his fingers continued, moving faster, finding every ticklish spot that made her writhe. Her laughter filled the chamber, wild and frantic. "Maid, mercy, my lord. Have mercy, I can't bear it." At last, when her strength was spent and her laughter had dwindled to breathless giggles, the lord stepped back. He gestured, and the guards released her arms. The maid slumped against the bench, clutching at her light blue drays, her chest rising and falling with heavy breaths. Her face was flushed red, her eyes wet with tears of laughter. She trembled, but managed a weak curtsy even on unsteady legs. "Lord," stern, but with finality, "you mocked your master and thought it sport. Now you know that laughter may turn against you. Remember this correction, girl, and hold your tongue with respect." The maid pressed her apron to her stomach, still giggling faintly in spite of herself. "Maid," breathless, "yes, my lord. I'll never mock again." The guards escorted her back up the stairs, her blue skirts swishing softly as she walked. The servants who saw her return whispered among themselves, astonished at the strange punishment she had endured, and though her spirit remained playful, the maid never again mocked her lord, for every time she thought to do so, she remembered the dungeon, the torchlight, and the helpless laughter that had humbled her.